Hi, hello everyone. Today we'll be solving daily LeetCode challenge, and the challenge is 3024 type of triangle. We are basically given a zero index integer array of size 3 which can form the sides of a triangle. A triangle is called equilateral if it has all sides of equal length, isosceles if it has two sides of equal length, scalene if all its sides are of different lengths. Return a string representing the type of triangle that can be formed, or none if it cannot form a triangle, right? So so as mentioned in the question, when a triangle is equilateral, when A is equal to B is equal to C, right? A triangle is isosceles when it has two sides of equal length. So A equal to B and B equal if it has exactly two sides of equal length, right? So if A equal to B, or your B equal to C, or your C equal to A, if this is the case, the triangle is isosceles. And if it is scalene when all the sides are not equal, right? So scalene when are of different length. So A is not equal to B and B is not equal to C, and since we cannot deduce from just these two that if A is not equal to B and B is not equal to C, we cannot we cannot say that A and C may or may not be equal. So we'll have to write it explicitly that A is not equal to C, right? And we need to return none if it is not a triangle, right? Or it does not fall in any of these categories. If it is not a triangle, we will need to return none string. So you must have studied the triangle properties in high school, which basically says that the sum of two sides should be greater than your third side, and that is it. A plus B should be greater than C, and your B plus C should also be greater than A, and your A plus C should be greater than your B, right? So we'll just quickly code these things out. This is when a triangle is equilateral, this is isosceles, this is scalene, and then if any triangle is violating this particular condition, then we can straight away return this none string, right? And so we'll quickly just get our sides A, B and C, which will be equal to nums of 0, nums of 1, nums of 2, right? And we'll have something like if your A equal to B and B equal to C, that also means that A is also equal to C, which is in turn an equilateral triangle. So just return this string which is equilateral, right? elif A equal to B, or B equal to C, or C equal to A, then just return that it is isosceles, right? And elif your A is not, or we can just copy this from up here, none of the sides are equal, then basically return scalene, right? And else we'll have return none. There can be a possibility that a triangle can fall in each of these. The sides can fall in these conditions, but we also need to keep a check on the validity if the sides that you are given, if they will form a valid triangle or not, right? So we'll quickly write a function define as valid triangle. Then we have our sides x, y and z, and then we'll just copy this. If x plus y is greater than z, if your y plus z is greater than your x, and if your z plus x is greater than your y, then you can return true from here, right? If this is not met, then return a false. Right, so we will have to call this, I mean, if the sides are equal, that is guaranteed to be an equilateral triangle, right? 60 degrees angle between each of these sides. But we would need to check it here as well as here, since two sides can be equal and the third side can be very small, resulting in no triangle being found, but our function, I mean triangle type, will return that it is an isosceles. So we need to verify if it is a triangle at all or not. So we'll copy this. Triangle, for some reason and then we'll pass on A, C, and this condition should be also right. We'll copy this condition, put this over here, put an and over here. I think this should work. Let's see. Okay, it says unmatched. It says unmatched somewhere. B is equal to C. We'll run this. It is passing test cases. Let's submit this. Okay, so we are able to pass all the test cases, and we'll quickly the time complexity of this code would be since we are not iterating, not doing anything, we are just checking if triangle is valid and then checking the sides. So the time complexity will be of 1. We are not taking any extra space, so space complexity will also be big of 1, right? There are solutions for this that basically sorts the nums array, right? But I think sorting in this is an overkill, although if you want to sort it, you will still have a time complexity of O of 1, since it will essentially be, if you sort it, the time complexity is n into log n, and it will essentially become 3 times log 3, which is essentially big of 1 only. So this is fine. Yeah, thank you for this.